About a year ago, a couple of team members at Love Your Brain reached out to BIHN, and they asked us to be a partner organization. And most of us here in the house are very familiar with Love Your Brain. Love Your Brain, in my opinion, sets the gold standard for long-term post-acute care for people that live what we live with. And there are actually a lot of similarities between Love Your Brain and BIHN. I think the biggest one, the overarching one, is we both have organizationally a non-pharmaceutical approach to brain injury recovery. And we take a look at the body, mind, and spirit, the whole person. So there's that absolute commonality. Um, and we are very, very honored to have Elizabeth Gray from Love Your Brain presenting for us today. She's going to go over, Elizabeth and I spoke yesterday. A lot of folks are familiar with Love Your Brain, but we can't assume that everybody is. So she's going to go over a few of the programs and initiatives that are part of the Love Your Brain ecosystem, and talk about a couple of specific upcoming events that are very, very exciting. I believe they're geared toward caregivers, so that's a big part of what we do. And I've got a quick bio just so that you guys can become a little more familiar with Elizabeth. She spearheads the implementation and expansion of the Love Your Brain retreat programs while supporting the organization-wide fundraising efforts. She has a bachelor's degree in writing. Yay, love writers. And a master's degree in education. And she's a registered yoga teacher and certified mindful educator. She's previously worked in diverse educational and nonprofit spaces, supporting social emotional growth of young people and professional educators. The piece that I like with Love Your Brain is each of the bios has a superhero section. And she defines her superheroes as anyone who turns toward uncertainty and change with curiosity and a light heart even for the smallest moments. And outsiders to our support group community may occasionally be horrified at the things we laugh at. So that qualifies for the light heart. And we're all here today because we're curious. So the blessing today is that Elizabeth has the opportunity to present to people that all fall into the category of superheroes. So Elizabeth, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, David, and thank you all for being here. It's so lovely to connect with you. I see at least one familiar face, Barb, and hopefully many that will become familiar over in the future. So I'm going to share my screen. I've got a little presentation for you all. So give me just one second while I get this ready to go. Okay, well, of course I'm not at the first slide. Why would we be there? Okay, can you all see my screen okay? Okay, perfect. So yeah, what I'll share a little bit about today are our programs. Love Your Brain is a multifaceted organization. We work with individuals with brain injury. We also work with caregivers as well as clinicians. And some of our programs really focus on mindfulness, yoga, and social connection for brain injury. So when we offer any of our offerings, we always like to begin with a grounding practice as an invitation to step mindfully out of whatever came before, to mark this transition into our time together. So I'll invite you to find a way to be in your body that feels comfortable. That might be leaning back in your seat. For some of us, that might be scooting forward and sitting up nice and tall. Perhaps you allow yourself the gift of lying down if that is feeling nourishing for you. Let your hands land somewhere on your body, maybe on your knees, on your heart, on your belly. And then allow your eyes to soften, or if it feels okay, perhaps blink your eyelids closed. starting to change or manipulate your breath in any kind of way, just take a moment here to notice that you're breathing. You might let your attention rest on wherever you feel your breath most in your body. For me right now, that's my chest. Perhaps you feel your breath in your belly. Maybe if you tune in really closely, you can feel your breath at the tip of your nose as it enters and exits your body. Start to bring attention to the top of your head. Send all of your awareness to your crown. And then draw your attention down to your ears. Maybe tracing the edges of your ears with your awareness. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. Can you, with your breath, with your mind, allow that space to widen and grow soft? Draw your attention down your jaw. Notice if you feel any tension. And perhaps just with the gift of your awareness, that tension can begin to release. Bring your attention to your throat. And let your awareness pause for a moment at your heart. Notice the expansion of your heart with every in-breath. Also notice that as we move through this body scan, there may be parts of your body that rather than feeling a sensation, there's an absence of sensation. Can you be with that too? Without judgment, kindness. So bringing your awareness now to your shoulders, drawing down your arms to your elbows, and down your forearms to your hands. Linger here, let your attention rest on the sensation or the absence of sensation beneath your palms. Drawing your attention back up your arms, and then letting it rest for a moment in the belly. We'll take a couple deep breaths here together. Taking a big breath in, expanding your belly, and a long breath out. Notice the way your belly retracts. A couple more like that, breathing in nice and full. And exhaling completely. One more big breath in. And a long breath out. You might even open your mouth and sigh. Draw your attention now to your seat, where it makes contact with the surface beneath you. Draw your attention down the tops of your thighs to rest at your knees. And down your shins, to rest at your feet. Let your attention settle on the soles of your feet. And notice again the sensation or the absence of sensation in the soles of your feet. And for these last few breaths together, see if you can sense the whole energetic body of yourself. Notice where you feel your breath or where you don't. Notice where sensations are easier or more difficult to sense. Again, all of it is just simply noticing, free of judgment, and with kindness. If your hands aren't at your heart, you might bring them there, stack one palm on top of the other. Let's take a big breath in all together, breathing into full, and a big sigh out. And drop your hands. Your eyes are closed. Begin to blink them open. Thank you for joining me in that practice. One of the things I love so much about the practice of mindfulness is the way that, I mean, that was 5 minutes of our lives. And I feel very different in my energetic body. Of course, I can only speak from my own experience, but it is a really helpful strategy for just bringing ourselves back to the present moment. So I'd love to just see a show of hands. How many people practice yoga or mindfulness? Oh, yay. Okay, I love that there's only a few hands up, actually. That's wonderful. So, welcome. You're my crew. I'm very, very happy to share some of these practices with you. So, I am going to start by sharing a short video. Love Your Brain creates a series of educational videos as part of our mindset program. And this one is just a very basic intro to mindfulness for brain injury specifically. So I'm going to share this. And David, can you just confirm you can hear the sound?
No, I don't hear sound, Elizabeth. Anybody else?
Uh-oh. Um, let's see. I wonder if I take my headphones out. If that will work.
There had to be at least one technical issue.
After a brain injury, it's easy to get swept away by what we wish was different. We often get stuck in the past or future, causing anxiety and stress. So, what can you do? Mindfulness is a tool that empowers you to approach life with more balance and perspective. Imagine it this way: your mind is like the ocean, your emotions and thoughts are like the waves. Sometimes they're moving like a calm ripple, other times crashing down one after another. There's no way to stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. Mindfulness is not about stopping thoughts or feelings. It's about changing your relationship to them, viewing them with a little more perspective. And when you do, even in the rockiest seas, you find a place of calm within yourself. The good news is mindfulness is an ability every human has. You just have to practice. Practice with us through meditation, yoga, or simply pausing to notice your breath. How does mindfulness show up in your life? The power is within you.
Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over some of the benefits that yoga and mindfulness have for brain injury specifically. There is some real sciencey information on this slide. The slides will be available to you, but we're going to go over kind of big picture things instead. So, mindfulness and yoga have been proven to improve cognitive fatigue and depression. It's been proven to improve pain, sleep, and emotional regulation, to augment memory and attention, to enhance resilience and quality of life, to boost balance and mobility, and to increase relaxation and self-awareness. All of those sound pretty beneficial, right? So I want to share a little bit. This is another video. This one's a little bit longer, but it's an introduction to Love Your Brain, both a little bit about our founders and how we came to be, as well as an initial glimpse into our programs and their impacts. After this video, I'll share more about our specific programs, and you'll hear from participants themselves. So
That's a hard thing to wake up to, is being somebody that you're not.
American snowboarder Kevin Pierce remains in critical but stable condition tonight after a training accident yesterday in Park City, Utah.
I was there. I was at the very, very top of competitive snowboarding. And then in a split second, everything was taken away from me. I lost my abilities. I couldn't even stand up by myself. I couldn't even eat food by myself, much less was I going to go try and snowboard. And only your brain can do that to you. Only injuring your brain can change the person who you once were.
It's so grueling. It's so long. It's endless, the amount of challenges you're up against. Us seeing that if you could combine community and help people cultivate a mindset to navigate the uncertainty with an ability to reframe, this has to be something we can offer to more people.
And that is where the idea of Love Your Brain was formed.
Love Your Brain is a foundation with a mission to improve the lives of people affected by a traumatic brain injury. From this, I've just learned that that change is inevitable, and it's not necessarily about the change. It's about how we respond to the change.
I was alone, and that's so internally damaging to feel that what you're experiencing is a problem. But when you join a community like Love Your Brain, you can hold your space of darkness, knowing that you're not alone, and knowing that, I have the skills and the community that's going to help me navigate whatever comes my way.
Before we continue, I do want to mention, I should have said this earlier, but if you have questions throughout the presentation, I know this is part of your culture here, but please drop them in the chat. David will keep an eye on the chat, and as questions come up, either pause me and ask them in the moment. We'll also have time at the end to ask any follow-up questions as well. So please bring your questions to me. I love them. I will answer all of the ones that I know how to. So that's an introduction to Love Your Brain and kind of where we came from, our origin story. What we're doing now is we are serving 67,000 people across 30 countries with all different kinds of programs. So we have program delivery, that's part of what we do. That's mostly what I'll be talking about today. We also offer skills training. So we work directly with yoga teachers and healthcare clinicians to support both in offering community yoga as well as really trying to move the needle in healthcare settings so that folks are getting access to different holistic therapies right away. Often we hear from people, I wish I found you 10 years ago, or I wish I found you 5 years ago. So that's a big part of what we're doing is trying to become more visible in healthcare settings so that folks can begin to get these supports right away. Another part of what we do is research and outreach. So outreach like what we're doing here today. All of our programs are research backed. Our Senior Director of Programs and Research, Kyla Pierce, who's in that photo, is a Dartmouth Fellow and has done all of the research that supports our programs. All of those studies are available On our website, if you want to get really nerdy and learn about the science, it's there for you. But I'm going to talk more about our program delivery. So we'll talk about the programs that we offer both for folks with brain injury as well as caregivers. And one of the primary things that we focus on in our programs is a focus on resilience and not recovery. Unlike many of you know this, probably all of you know this, but unlike other injuries that do fully recover in time, brain injuries like TBI can have permanent life-altering consequences that affect functioning and behavior and all sorts of aspects of daily life. In medical settings, especially, and also we hear often from folks that their families and loved ones really want to talk about this idea of recovery or returning back to quote unquote normal. And of course, that can have some value when evaluating progress for certain functions. It can also lead to feelings of disempowerment or frustration with TBI because there are long, ongoing impacts. So the mountains and the valleys of healing can feel really discouraging as people who, including caregivers, wait or hope for a return to what we, mistakenly call normal. So approaching TBI through a lens of resilience, we've found, is a much more empowering framework for healing. I see a question. Yeah, what's your question? Oh, David, can folks unmute or
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Hey.
Hi. Is it
Oh,
Ashandria?
that's her.
Okay.
My name is Jemiah. I'm the one who has the TBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a survivor.
It's nice to meet you, Jemiah. Do you have a question?
Yeah, uh-huh. I wanted to ask about you said it takes a while for things to recover in your brain. And then you said did you say some may never like get back together?
Well, we use the language of resilience instead of recovery
Yeah.
because what we have found is that the idea of recovery or returning to what people say is normal often actually feels disempowering. And when we think about resilience instead, we look at these different aspects of resilience that are here on the screen. It's a different path than trying to go back to normal, but to move forward to a different way of being and growing.
Okay. Cause I know I feel like I've had trouble like what would you call it? Grieving my old self.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
I've
seeing a
had
lot of head nods because
yeah.
yeah, you are not alone in that experience. And
Yeah,
that's an important part of resilience is honoring the grief
yeah.
and not trying to move past it, but letting yourself walk alongside the grief and letting that be a part of your healing process.
Well, thank you. And I see
Okay.
a lot of people that I saw on another one. Yeah, there go Barb. Hey, Barb.
We love Barb.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But
Jemiah.
And I've got a question from the chat, Elizabeth. Barb
Sure.
actually asks, are there physician lists of doctors who are affiliated with Love Your Brain throughout the country, ones who quote unquote get it?
We do have our clinical affiliates. So it's not a list of physicians, but it's a list of clinical spaces around the country that are partners with Love Your Brain. Yes, we can certainly get that to you, Barb. And I know we have some in New England, which is not where you are. Okay, for some reason I thought you were there. I can't remember where everybody lives. But um, okay, so I'm going to share a little bit about our programs. So all of our programs are free and all of our programs for people with brain injury, I should say, are free. and designed to be holistic, meaning that they support physical, mental, and social health, which right away in your organization's intro, that is exactly what David was speaking to. So there's a lot of overlap in mission between the work that you all are doing and the work that we're doing here. So this includes TBI, concussion, stroke, tumor, other types of acquired brain injuries. And caregivers can also access our programs to regain well-being and move forward with their lives. As you know, when you experience a brain injury, it happens to you. And also if you are, it happens to your caregivers. And we really want to honor that and support those folks as well. One of the programs that we offer can be done from anywhere on your own schedule. So that's Mindset Online. This is a 6-week online program. We offer some different pathways for accessibility. So all of them run for 6 weeks. They're offered in January, April, July, and October. There are 2 different types of mindset groups. One is 45 minutes, and it's a group psychoeducation and group discussion. The other is 75 minutes, so it's an extra 30 minutes, and that one includes a gentle yoga component. This gives folks lots of opportunities to connect with other people who have brain injuries. There are also, on our next slide, I'll share about our affinity groups. This program is research-backed, and the research shows significant improvements among the 400 people who participated in the study with TBI in quality of life, cognition, emotional regulation, social connection, and resilience. So like I said, we have our group discussion, our yoga and discussion, and then also this program is offered in an on your own self-paced model. So what that looks like is you get an email every week for 6 weeks that includes a video, a meditation, and some skill building practice. It doesn't include the social component, but it does allow you to kind of dip your toe in if you're curious, but not quite sure if you're ready for a social group. Something tells me that people in this group are ready for social connection because you're here already doing that. But if you're curious about mindset and want to learn the content, the Mindset on Your Own is open all the time. You can start at any time. Our group discussion and yoga and discussion groups, which begin in July, enrollment is open now. So if you're interested, I sent David a bunch of links that he will send out to the group where you can sign up. But all of our programs are located on loveyourbrain.com. Part of our mindset groups are expanding to create specialized programs to help really deepen impact and for folks to be able to engage with people who share similar intersecting identities. So some of our affinity groups are for veterans. We have an athletes group. We have a BIPOC group. We have a group that's specifically for caregivers. Caregivers are welcome to join any group, but the caregivers group is just for people who have that identity, which can be a really powerful space to connect. We offer a chair yoga, LGBTQIA+, and young adults. We also have 2 new groups that aren't on here yet because they're brand new. One is Life After Stroke, and the other is Life After Concussion. And both have been so well received by the community. And it's no surprise that these affinity groups are often the ones that fill quickest because when people have multiple identities that they hold alongside TBI, it can really add to the complexity of the experience. And to share the space with people who understand what you're going through many lenses can feel really supportive. So would love to see you all in a mindset group. Our mindset facilitators are absolutely wonderful facilitators. So such a joy to learn and be alongside them. We also offer community retreats. This is the program I manage, so a little bit biased. I think it's our greatest program. But our community retreats are, yes, and I got to meet Barb at a retreat in our inaugural Oregon retreat in May. So our community retreats are 5 days. They're residential retreats for people with brain injury and caregivers. We typically have about 35 folks who attend. That's primarily individuals with brain injuries, but a small group of caregivers as well. There's usually about 5 to 10 caregivers at any retreat. The pillars that the retreat program was built on are well, they're different than what they say here, but mindfulness, movement, community, and nutrition. So, but you can see those reflected here in connection, possibility, resilience, and nourishment. So these retreats offer different activities like gentle yoga. We offer yoga nidra in the evenings. Um, we also do an art project. There's opportunities for large group story sharing. And the greatest part of all of it, though, I think, are the in-between moments where Barb is nodding her head, which is really where the connections begin to blossom. We offer them 5 times a year. We have 4 locations. So we're in Arizona outside of Tucson, Colorado outside of Denver, Oregon outside of Portland, and Maine outside of the other Portland. And the locations vary based on, or the locations are the same, but it varies. The dates vary per year, where we do 3 retreats in the fall and 2 in the spring. David, do you have a question?
Yeah, Heather asks in the chat, do you need an official diagnosis to attend a retreat? Great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. We don't require an official diagnosis. No. Participants self-identify if they have experienced a TBI. Any other questions? Not yet.
We're good.
Okay, great. So I'll just share that this fall will be in Colorado, Oregon, and Arizona, and next spring will be in Arizona and Maine. I'm going to share a couple of testimonials from folks who have attended retreats because I think this can often be the real place where the impact lands. So the first is from a participant, and she said, "It's difficult to articulate just how much this retreat meant to me. I felt an overwhelming sense of belonging from the moment I arrived and a deep connection and heartfelt gratitude for all of those who were present and for those behind the scenes making it happen. I loved being able to experience and witness the vulnerability, transformation, and connections unfolding over the course of the week. The ways in which this program lifts up and empowers folks to live and love well within new circumstances is truly remarkable." And then I'm going to share a testimonial from a caregiver. This person said, "I'm so thankful that this program exists and got more out of it than I ever expected. The facilitators, staff, and programming were so purposeful. It really felt like magic, even though I know it took a lot of work. I also really liked that there were other caregivers there. I got a lot out of our caregiver forest bath and walks. It was helpful to have a safe space to talk about our struggles when I know it is easy to put our needs last because a person with brain injury needs so much support." And this photo is of a mother and son who attended a retreat as caregiver, as the mom as his caregiver, and they have come back as volunteers and have just really remained in the ecosystem of Love Your Brain. And Carrie in the photo, it's also attended our caregiver retreat twice. So lots of people attend and they come back. You can attend mindset groups as many times as you like. You can apply to attend more than one retreat. So we really love to see people interacting with all kinds of different aspects of the Love Your Brain ecosystem. This is the program that David said that mentioned the upcoming event. So our online caregiver retreat is starting in September. This is a really sweet retreat. We used to offer this program in person, but knowing the demands of caregivers, stepping away for 5 days for an in-person retreat was quite difficult for many of them. So we decided to shift to an online format. And this is offered twice a year, once in September and once in January. I'll share a little bit about the times in a moment, but First, I just want to say about this retreat that caregivers don't have a lot of resources like this. They don't have a lot of opportunities or time to connect with other people who are in their shoes. And caregiving is a lot of work, and it requires an immense amount of heart and presence and care. And often, what we hear from our caregivers and what we all know is that when we're giving, often the last person we give to is ourselves. So this is an opportunity for caregivers to really step into this shared space. It's 2 hours a week for 6 weeks. There's an opportunity to opt into a retreat partner option in which we pair you with another caregiver and offer kind of prompts and opportunities to connect on a deeper level with one person individually throughout the program. And that's led to some really meaningful long-term relationships between caregivers. Even if there's distance, there's still a real true understanding that many people feel like they've achieved for the first time. So enrollment for the fall program is open now. It's, like I mentioned, 6 weeks. This one is on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and that starts August 18th. We also provide an evening offering for folks who need to attend in the evenings. That happens in winter, so that one starts January 21st, and that one's on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. I co-facilitate the winter one, and my colleague Kyla co-facilitates the fall retreat. And both are led by Carla Johnston, who is an absolutely brilliant leader in the Zen community in Washington State. And she, yeah, the presence that she brings to this space is really, truly valuable. So if you are a caregiver or you know a caregiver who would benefit from this, please do apply. This program is a paid program. We also have scholarship opportunities available. This is another upcoming event. We do a learning lab lecture series 6 times a year. So we bring in different speakers who are experts in the brain injury community. So in the past, we've had people who shared on topics such as neuroscience and compassion, rebuilding career after injury, and compassion without collapse. That one was specifically for caregivers. Next month in July is this offering, Regaining Focus and Intention, Goal Management Training. And this is offered by, let's see, Kim Wilment, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, who's neuropsychologist and director of the Renew program at Brigham and Women's Hospital. And this one is specifically designed to talk about the fact that after brain injury, executive function can weaken, making it harder to turn goals into action. Goal management training, which Dr. Wilment is an expert in, is designed to offer practical evidence-based evidence-informed approach that helps rebuild the bridge, that helps you pause, clarify goals, stay present, and reduce that feeling of being on autopilot. So we'd love to see you there. Learning labs are always offered free. There is a donation option, but they are always free to attend. And then finally, the last program I'll share about is our meditation library and courses. So we offer a free online meditation and yoga library. There's over 100 practices that are designed specifically for folks with brain injury. We also have a mindfulness course and a 10-day meditation immersion. So those, again, are all self-paced. You can join anytime. So if you come to Love Your Brain, and for example, our retreats are not open right now, and if you're still wanting to engage in a program, you can join these anytime. Oh no, hold on. Where did my, oh, I lost, there it is. Okay. I actually would love to play a video if that's okay, David. Do we have time for that? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Why is it not working? I'm gonna play it from here. Uh-oh. Well, it's not gonna work, I guess. Oh, this is such a great video. Let's see. Would it be okay if I pulled that up on YouTube and played it from there? Could I try that?
Whatever it takes, that's perfectly okay.
Okay, thank you.
And while you're looking, I don't want any question to be overlooked. Heather in the chat had asked if transportation or travel is provided, or do attendees actually cover travel costs?
Yes, great question. So, attendees do cover travel cost. Our retreats are offered free of tuition. One of the ways that Love Your Brain has made that possible over the years is by creating some opportunities for folks to fundraise for the retreat program. So we give you everything you need to make that really straightforward. We've got somebody on our team who can support with that as well. We ask folks to set a goal for themselves for fundraising, but there's no required minimum. We know that fundraising can be a barrier for folks and want to support you in your attendance no matter what you're able to contribute. But travel costs are at the expense of participants. We do offer an airport shuttle. So once you get yourself to the airport, we can get you to the retreat site.
Thank you. And while you're looking for that, jump in at any time. Just a little bit of housekeeping information. I shared it with the group earlier that the session is being recorded. It'll be posted, as well as the links that Elizabeth referenced. They're now in the chat. They'll also be on the post that follows up today's session for quick reference for you guys.
I've got the video if that's okay. I can share it.
Perfect.
Okay, this is from one of our retreat attendees.
Living after TBI, it feels like doing a trust fall, but like nobody's there to catch you and you just keep falling. That's sort of how it felt all the time. Megan didn't really want to talk about the fact that she had had a traumatic brain injury. And I think we wanted to believe that she was okay, but she just was not herself. Felt really isolated. I couldn't connect to anything really. I definitely felt depressed and sort of like nobody understood, so I couldn't really have a real relationship with anyone. Megan's journey, I feel like in a lot of ways in her injury was like swept under the carpet, even in our family. I think we all took the tragedy and also the trauma and processed it in different ways without ever having really talked about it or had support to kind of get through some of these barriers. I had never thought that I could really grow from where I am. I thought that I would continue this way and then one day I would die. And that's kind of life. It wasn't until I found Love Your Brain that I recognized that I wasn't the only one that had TBI. When I started the mindset group, I just cried the whole time. I think it was partially a release after all these years of pretending that nothing happened and I was fine. Love Your Brain helped me realize that I was bearing so much and living in a way that was preventing me from loving myself, connecting with others, and being able to have authentic relationships. At the retreat, I felt a real sense of belonging. Seeing people who were accepting of themselves being imperfect was huge for me. It was the first time I'd felt like I was with people who got me and I got them, like we understood each other. It was the first time in a very long time, maybe ever, that I felt I am okay as I am and I can grow in this space. She was so happy after the retreat. I think she came back with a sense of confidence that I hadn't seen. There's something about that journey that she's going through, that she's the one that's creating dialogue in our family now. And that to me is amazing. And it's giving me the strength and space finally to be able to feel all those feelings and recognize them and move from them. To the donors, the Love Your Brain facilitators and ambassadors, there's almost no words. but I'm so grateful. It means the world to me, and I don't think I don't think I could think of words to express my gratitude.
Give folks a moment or two to trickle in.
Uh-oh.
But for those of you who I may not have
Okay. I think it's always really powerful to hear directly from folks who have attended the retreat or participated in our programs. And on that note, I heard Barb, you wanted to perhaps share something.
I do. Okay. Well, I have done both the mindfulness and I was at the first retreat in Gresham and in Oregon, which was so exciting because travel is so hard for me. I don't fly well anymore. And I can get lost on a train. It's not impossible. So being close by was really important. So I love that it's expanded that way. I've made friends that are right there, and I look forward to doing more. I will say the mindfulness was really, really good for me. I did January, and I've been on this path for a really long time, and you get kind of complacent. This is just where I'm going to be. And with BIHN and Love Your Brain as being part of my cornerstones, I feel more supported now than I did in the early days.
Thank you, Barb. And if you attend, any of our programs, one of the biggest takeaways is community. And you are all here in this communal space, so I get the sense that this is a value for you. So we'd love to see you in one of our online programs or in person. And yeah, I'm available for questions now or via email later. But thank you so much for hosting us. Nicole, what's your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. I that video, sorry, it's a lot. It was kind of a lot for me to, not just my own brain trauma. I've had a multiple TBIs and a brain infection, and my sister has also had multiple TBIs, and she has children, and so it like brought up, I asked her for things. Anyway, I feel this guilt now of asking her. Like, I didn't realize, because when I had my brain infection, I didn't realize, I didn't even know she had had a TBI 3 months prior because I was in another country. I knew she was in a car accident, but she flew across the continent to help me. And so one of the things, so I say all that to say that part of, so I've always been considered like I have 5 siblings and I'm the emotional one, even before I had brain trauma. And so I feel like, so I feel like, I'm also a yoga teacher. There's a lot of things that this brought up because I don't do the same things like I used to. I still meditate, but, and I loved the yoga nidra. Thank you. And I'm sorry for coming in late. Or rather, what I'm trying to say is I still struggle with all the emotions and processing things. And every medical appointment like brings up, like, now I have this like, so anyway, I'm all over the place, but that's how it is sometimes. But that learning lab, I actually went to Brigham Women's Hospital and saw a concussion specialist recently. And so anyway, I have to make a decision because he has a pre-diagnosis about NFD. I think I'm saying it, or FND, functional neurological disorder, and if I should go to the next step and get seen, what do you call that, assessed by the team. So I was curious if I could get, like, if we more information, because I personally feel like a woman, because there is certain things I've learned with another brain trauma group is hormones. When you have the TBI as women, sorry guys, but this is my reality, is that there's certain things that were affected in a way that men aren't, or maybe I don't know, but this is what has been brought to my attention by my women's group. And so I feel like that's the tool that's like missing. And I know you can't do, but you did talk about the neuro research, and I feel like that's the part I can't get my doctor to like, or I don't know how to articulate the what I need, like what I need with these specialists, because some of them are like, well, why are you here? And I like look at them like, what are you joking? Like, what do you think I'm here for? Like, do you see I have 15 concussions and a brain infection in the last 20 years? Like, I help. So, anyway, I know that was a lot. I'm sorry if that was too much for anybody to listen to, but anyway, just any suggestions or references to further up with any of specifically the learning lab that you suggested, or not suggested, but on July 15th, and then like if there's other resources that you suggest. Thank you.
Yeah, so if Brigham and Women's Hospital is close to you, the presenter, Dr. Willamette, at the Learning Lab could potentially have more specific information about particular female practitioners there. But otherwise, I would definitely encourage you to, especially with your background as a yoga teacher, to join us for a mindset group and see if that feels supportive. Um, we do talk a lot in the mindset groups about tools and strategies for emotional regulation. I'm sure you have a lot in your back pocket already, but it can be helpful to learn, slight tweaks to them and also to learn from other people in the mindset groups. So I feel like that would be a good place to start if that feels helpful. I saw yeah,
Thanks. Sorry, I muted myself because I got a kitty running up and down the table. Um, so sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Did you say that the learning lab is in person only, or is it also online?
The learning labs are all online. And you
Okay,
can
so
access the Learning Lab archive. So all of our previous learning labs are available on our website as well. So that could also be a great place to go if you're looking for specific topics. We've
okay,
done
great.
6 a year for many years. So yeah, there's quite a plethora of options to choose from.
And is there, because um like I'm not trying to diminish your group. I'm trained in a lot of these, like what you're doing, and it's definitely helpful, but I was wondering if there's another because I've been a yoga teacher for 20 years and have a toolkit, but I'm still struggling. Is there another, maybe something for people who are more I don't want to say advanced, but practiced in meeting
We
with.
do offer a training that's specifically for yoga teachers. And I'm also a yoga teacher and have been a yoga teacher for over 10 years. And I found our training, I sort of went into it like, I already know this. But there was so much that I learned that really shifted the way that I think about accessibility in yoga spaces that I never would have thought about. So that training might be interesting to you. is an opportunity to deepen your practice as a yoga teacher as well, and to, especially with your background, to then have that layer of TBI specific yoga. And yeah, that could be a really good resource.
Okay, is it possible to get a link in the chat for that
Yeah,
or
I will
resource?
drop that in the chat. And
Okay,
then I did just want to, there's one question from Lisa about, do you offer ambiguous loss class? And I love this question because as we are continuing to develop and grow our curriculum, ambiguous loss and grief has been one of the top topics that people really want to talk about. And we touch on it at our retreats, but it's something that we are consistently trying to grow curriculum around because there is such a strong desire. And I love even the fact that this question was raised here and that there's this raised awareness around this idea of ambiguous grief, I think is so important because our culture, we have, limited, but we have rituals around how to grieve the death of a person or a loved one. But we don't have rituals around how to grieve the death of a dream or of a future self or, these other things that are much harder to hold on to tangibly, but are really significant losses in a life. So thank you, Lisa, for bringing that into the space.
Interestingly, right after my own injury, I saw a specialized grief counselor who was also a brain injury survivor, and she helped me with a lot of those early issues. And the fact that she was a survivor was helpful because she was able to share experience from the inside, and I found that to be, again, I think most of us have not heard of the term ambiguous grief or ambiguous loss prior to injury becoming part of our lives. We're getting close to the top of the hour. And first and foremost, Elizabeth, thank you for a masterful, wonderful presentation today. I marvel at how closely our missions are aligned. And if the word community came up repeatedly. And one of the challenges with brain injury, post-brain injury life, is that sense of isolation. The community addresses that directly. I found Megan's testimony to be very moving and very heartfelt and very much in alignment with things that we experience here. Um, uh, she said I wasn't the only one with a TBI and I was no longer alone and I found my people. And anybody that's part of either BIHN or Love Your Brain, they've all experienced that end of isolation. One other quick quote that was on one of your slides, I have a sense of belonging and compassion toward myself that wasn't there before. And one of our hopes, and it's proven to be selling it a little short, is we had hoped if we could touch just one person and elevate the quality of their life. And fate and circumstance and a lot of hard work and dedicated volunteers has shown that we could touch a lot of lives. Again, a little repetition here. Watch for a recording of today's session and the links that Elizabeth had referenced. I had a couple of folks reach out to me directly, Elizabeth, about sharing your email address. Is that
I
something
put
you're?
it in the chat.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that. And so, yeah, it's going to be a wrap for today. And I want to thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys. You're loved, and we'll see you next time.